Well, hello, my soul friends. Hey, pause with me. What are you doing? Sit with me. I don't know how to start these videos. Truly, that's my intention to call anybody out there in to be with me for just a few moments to hopefully receive something that nurtures your soul, helps you reclaim your soul potential, reminds you that you're just a soul having a human experience, and as such, you're going to have your challenges, you're going to have your triumphs, you're going to have your learning and lessons and growing and expanding, and it's all part of the journey, isn't it? So, welcome to the Soul Nurturer channel. I am Victoria. If I didn't say that, I've been out in the woods for a few days, and um, you know, your brain shifts out of hyper arousal to just very still. And maybe you'll notice right away, for those of you who watch my videos, that I'm a little bit more calm and slow. Rightfully so. I'm so grateful, and I'll tell you a little bit about that in a moment. But if this is your first time to the channel, welcome. I'm going to be talking about my topic, I think, today, that arose out of my being out in nature for a consecutive amount of time, stepping away from all the things. I mean, I took a week off, and slowly was unwinding and unhooking from all the things that were pulling me elsewhere, and getting clear and getting centered and getting grounded back into what is meaningful to me. And so I wanted to talk about that with all of you. So welcome, and thank you to my regular viewers. I appreciate you. I love your comments, your emails, all of that, and sticking with me, even though this channel has been stop and start. And this is kind of what my video is about. We're in such, intense transformational times, although as I'm recording this, we're in a week of very kind of just peaceful time to restore, kind of time to, just be with yourself and assess where you're at, and, this time period that we're all sharing, rest assured, around the corner, there will be another something to navigate, right? But we're being sculpted, we're being prepared for our blessings, and um, hmm, we're being taken through situations and tests. I do believe that we get spiritually tested. Are you ready for the thing you're praying for? Are you ready for what you're visioning for? And in the test, we bulk up our spiritual muscles, the things that we need to step into that possibility, that potential, that purpose. And I think everything is purposeful. It's just, how do we navigate it? And also to notice everything that shows up in you with whatever you're experiencing. But in this particular case, I wanted to talk about how we can get so busy in the day-to-day grind and all the, expectations, all of our responsibilities, all of our obligations, all of the things, and how important it is to, I say, step outside and then step inside, right? One of my quotes I like to say, I offer this women's retreat. Well, I haven't offered it for a while. I'm doing a day version this year, but it's called Nurtured in Nature. And one of the things I say in that time with women in the woods is that transformation is an inside job that is best done outside. So, when do you know when it's time to step out of everything? And I know for some of you, like, moms with little ones and people who have high responsibilities, and a lot of people depending on you, you're in the middle of fulfilling a goal, a deadline. You're almost there, but there's one of my mosquito friends. As long as they don't land on me, we're cool. um, I know you can't step out in a way you probably would desire, but you must find time to, if it's even 5 minutes, and if you can, go outside, even if it's in your backyard or a park. Or, I'm fortunate to live in a beautiful part of the country, and we have beautiful property. It's like a sanctuary. It's very sacred. We call it the land. We've been, my husband in particular, but I've done lots of retreats and women's processes out here. It feels very sacred because we've done a lot of healing and transformational work out here. And so I need to come here sometimes. And I notice how often I come out here only when I'm going to run a group, or not just for me. So healing and transformation requires us to turn our compassion inward, our our gifting inward for a while, to be with ourselves, to say, what do you need? I often say, go look in a mirror and look at the person staring back at you and say, how can I support you? Right? So sometimes, it's hard to know when to hit the brakes. We're just on that gas pedal, wanting to plunge forward, push, push, push. And we're, I think, unconsciously, because of we're so conditioned, especially if we're really engaged in social media, seeing what everybody else is doing, like we feel like we need to be doing all that, or we should be doing that. And I wanted to say that's one of the tips, one of the indicators that you need to pause and step out and step in and catch up with yourself. This is a phrase I've been using a lot because, I've been a healer, transformational support person for many years, 25 plus. But before that, I was just a natural healer. I was a natural, oh gosh, I always got reflected, you're so calm and you've got the right words to say, whatever. My heart was always there to hold space for others, which often comes out of our wounds. And this is something I talk a lot about with my clients and in my workshops, how we have to look for the wound and the gift, where we're giving from our wound and not our gift. And if you're giving from your wound, then you can be drained, you can be resentful, you can feel apathy, and you can feel burnt out, you can feel just a deep neglect. So this catching up, I say this now proudly and boldly. When I used to have to say, oh, I've got an appointment, I can't do that, I say, I'd love to join you, I'd love to do that, but I really am aware of the many, many years I was unconsciously neglecting myself, my own potential, and I'm taking time to catch up with myself, to catch up with my potential, to catch up with my purpose. And I've been in a number of years like that, and it's I'm honoring it. Of course, my priority is myself, my well-being, my marriage, my family, my clients, and then everything else is like there's got to be wiggle room, right? And like these videos are wiggle room, and like Instagram, I just in the timing for me, I just hired a consultant to help me. I don't know what the word is, relaunch, remodel my Instagram. And I had this niggling, like, not right now, not the right time, not really interested in Instagram. But I denied that. I overrode it, and I hired this consultant. She was wonderful. I just wasn't into it. I was just like, why am I on Instagram? It's not my thing. It started to feel draining. It started to feel like the shoulds kicked in. I should be doing more posts. I should be doing posts that are like this, or I should be, and seeing all that. And I just like, I need to step out. And this was hard because I just relaunched, and I just paid a lot of money to do something different. And I was just like, no, not working, not feeling it, stepping away. Not to say I'm not going to keep posting on Instagram, but it's going to be like organically the way that I am, not like trying to do what everybody else is doing, or posting on a Tuesday, or I was getting into that mindset, like, oh, what time? I was asking her, what time is the best time to post? What time? And I'm like, this is not me. I kept saying, I just want to organically draw people in who are meant to be with me, that I'm meant to support. I don't want to do competition. I see that. I'm just like, no, it's not about competition. There's a lot of people that need support, and there's a lot of practitioners, and I happen to be one that has a lot of experience, a lot of, I'm going to say it, wisdom, getting saging over here. I like to say saging, not aging. And I just want to relax into it. I don't want to push. I don't, there are times to push. I will say that. It's like, we go through these cycles of rebirthing, and there's a time when you're gestating. There's a time when you're just being, and then there's a push time. But it's knowing when it's push time and pause time. Really important. So, and then the thing I wanted to say, because I know it comes up for me. Sorry, I'm sitting on my sweater. I'm just adjusting here. First of all, just take in this beauty with me for a moment. Like right behind me, you can't see, is our creek. And I'm sitting between our grand maples right here. And there's usually owls in this tree. And there's a lot of birds around. And maybe you can I'll pause so you can hear the birds. And just take a breath in and let yourself feel into you being in nature somewhere. Of course, now there's a truck driving by, which is so powerful. No matter how much we claim space for ourselves, there will be distractions. Usually they're distractions in our own mind, or the to-do list, or the shoulding, right? Shoulding, that old saying, don't should on yourself. So again, the denied, like, we won't pause when we need to because we're afraid that we're delaying our whatever, our healing, our goal, our getting more followers, getting more clients, getting more. And but if you don't allow yourself to delay or pause, put a pause on it, you're not denying any of the things you're wanting to achieve. But if you're denying yourself your own needs, then that's backwards, right? Always have to be present to what you need. That in filling up your own well, I say well because I used to say years ago when I would teach self-care classes, make sure your cup is filled. I'm like, no. These days we don't need a cup full, we need a well full, because there's a lot going on. So we need more time to replenish, restore, reconnect. And in that well, too, it's not just our energy, it's our wisdom, to take time to integrate what you've been learning and growing and cultivating and developing. It's like we're such a fast-paced society, and I see it like people come right out of a class or right out of a training, and they're like 1,000, going 1,000 miles an hour, and they haven't yet taken it in and embodied it and become it, integrating it. And we need to do that in our lives too. Otherwise, we empty quickly, and then we start to exhaust all of our conscious new awarenesses, and we go back into the default programming, and then we begin to give from our wounds and not from our gifts. Is this making sense? If it is, I hope that you will put something in the comments. Let me know. And also, usually at the top, I usually want to know how you're doing. Why? Because, I don't know, I have 1,000-something viewers, and, I don't know that all of you watch my videos because I see through the likes and the comments. But I hope more of you are listening or catching a video here and there. And I truly do want to know how you're doing. It's sort of my research. It's how I get to, I know how I'm doing. I know how my clients are doing. I know how my friends and family are doing. But knowing more about how the collective is doing, it's tickling hairs again, how the collective is doing is really intriguing to me. It reminds me, and I hope it reminds you, that we're all in this together. We're all growing through something. And some of us have grown past a test or a expanded awareness, like you were in a limited space, you've expanded. Awesome. Then you know that about yourself. You are the expert of you. And this is the more you get to know you and your normal day-to-day patterns and the patterns you want to grow out of and the patterns you want to practice in, you're the one that needs to assess, is this a time to pause and connect more inward, to kind of, see how your inner world is doing, to do some inner housekeeping, to do some healing, to just replenish, to be still, to listen to your soul? Or are you feeling really good and replenished and your well is full and it's time, it's go time, right? And you may be in that cycle. I'd like to know, where are you? What are you noticing? We just had a full moon in Capricorn, the first of two. We're going to have a second one on July 21st in the sign of Capricorn, which tells you that that's kind of the focus. We've been looking at what we've been working hard at, what, pushing towards goals, getting to the top of the mountain. But now, we're in Cancer season, and it is a time to nurture your soul. It's my favorite season. That's what I'm all about, reclaiming soul potential and nurturing your soul potential into your higher possibilities. So it is a time to really be with yourself, really mindfully. And for all of us, especially parents, I always say to parents, how many kids do you have? Oh, I have 3. And I say, well, no, you have 4. Include your inner child. They always laugh. Yeah, I need to do that. And, my husband and I don't have kids, but we always say we have 2. I have my inner girl and his little boy. And we always joke, they keep us very busy, and they need attention, and we give it to them. And for those of you who know, what I'm talking about. Inner child work is essential to a path of healing and transformation. So, okay. So some of the things I wrote, I think I already talked about. Notice, some of the signs. Notice when you're drained, you're feeling, just really fatigued a lot, and your own sort of um, natural enthusiasm or joy or um, whatever is your essence is low. Your light is dim. That's a time to step out. Again, when you're shooting on yourself, not pushing yourself. I need to be doing more. It's not enough. I'm not enough. Those places we can land. That's a step out, reassess, reconnect, reclaim, reemerge with your essence, and tend and mend your wounded self so that your gifts can come forward. So, and when you're drained, when you're feeling uninspired, is a key one for me. When I'm feeling like, that usually inspires me, and there's no inspiration. Or when you're feeling overwhelmed or confused, that's a sign from your psyche that you're out of alignment, you're out of balance. Um, and this is why being out in nature, I always say this to my clients, and when I am fortunate enough to have workshops outside, that and when you feel out of aligned with your soul and your essence, get out in nature to be called back to your true nature. It really is like recalibrating. It's like you start to shed all the stuff you've accumulated to be in your world that isn't who you are, and you start to remember who you are. You start to reclaim who you are, and you get to then from that place say, okay, what have I been doing that's not in alignment with who I am and who I choose to be and how I choose to live my life? And when it's time to take a little hiatus. And I noticed I've been taking a lot more shorter hiatuses and stepping away for a little bit because I want to bring my best, and I don't want to just kind of like, what's the word? Drag myself forward to support others. I want to pause when I needed to fill up, fill my well, to give from the overflow. I got that from Reverend Michael Beckwith, one of my teachers. So remember, this isn't a race. It can feel that way, especially for people, women. I'm always focusing on women because I work with primarily women, but I don't want to, you men too. When for those of us getting to a certain age where we recognize, wow, how much time do I have left to fulfill the promises of my soul, the potential, and my purpose, right? That we may begin to feel a push, 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 but it's more just relaxing into yourself, relaxing into your soul, relaxing into what is, and feeling in for those prompts of, yeah, I feel ready. It's time, time to push, or time to offer, time to step in a different way, in a new way. And so it's not a race. We need to learn to, I say, pace with grace. Pace with grace. And for me, well, what does grace mean to you? Grace and acceptance. That pace with grace for me, and it can mean whatever it needs to mean for you, is, yeah, it's honoring where you are. Yeah, you may not be where you want to be, but you're honoring where you are, what you need, how you're doing, and you're honoring the soul calls that are clear. And you need to step out, I think, of the chaos of everyday life to hear those clear soul calls. And when you're ready, you'll know. And you'll have more to offer, and you'll feel better in doing so. And you'll be giving from your gifts, which is joyous and rewarding mm, and fulfilling, and even increases your energy. So, anyway, I hope this helped. I hope there's somebody out there that needed this little message. Let me know where you are in your unfolding. Are you in a time you need to step out, step away from social media or places and people or situations that drain your energy? It's really important to assess that too. Are you being drained by what you're involved in? Are you being fed and lifted by it? And of course, us natural introverts and empaths can feel drained by being around a lot of people, even if you love the people, and even if you're enjoying. Like my husband just did a wilderness immersion at the land, really amazing process. He's been trained in teaching, and I got to support him, And it was incredible to be out in nature with people who were really open to transformation and reclaiming their true essence. And I loved every minute of it until we were done. I was like, oh, okay, I am exhausted. I need to refill my well. Even though I was really fed by what I was doing, I say this, I was peopled out. I get peopled out easily. Anybody else? Peopled out, especially if you're a recovering ex-people pleaser. If you're a recovering people pleaser, you can easily default into those unconscious patterns of everyone else, and all your energy goes out when you need to stay connected inward always as you're supporting others, giving, as Reverend Michael says, from the overflow. Okay. All right, that's it. I hope there's something, a little gem, a little takeaway. Please let me know what it is, and please let me know where you're viewing from. I love to know that. And really, truly, this is genuine. I want to know how you're doing. What are you navigating in your life? What are you growing through? What is your challenge, and what is your vision? You always want to stay connected to the vision. Yeah, this is what I'm growing through right now, but this is where I'm going. This is what I'm desiring. This is what I'm moving towards. And this is what you're worthy of. Okay? So remember that. You're worthy of what you desire, and you're worth the effort, and you're worth the awareness of your own needs and to facilitate your own needs. Okay? All right. Peace be with all of you on your unfolding journey, right where you are. May you feel loved. May you feel held. May you feel connected to your soul calls, and your own soul wisdom. All right. Peace and blessings. Bye-bye.